Okay, Todd, congratulations on your purchase of your 67 Chevelle. I think you're going to really enjoy this car a lot. It's just a good, awesome muscle car. It does everything well. It stops well, drives well. It's got a ton of power. I think you like it. So I'm going to walk you through a couple subsystems on the car, what some of the things are, and how to identify them, and what it's made of. So the first thing is the paint. This is a House of Colors color. It's called Cosmos Red with a K. It's a multi-stage paint. We painted the whole car white first, and then cut the whole car down with sandpaper, and then actually painted it with 7 coats of red. So when it's in the sun, the car is really bright because the sun's going through the red, reflecting off the white back out. So kind of a complex system, but it's really the only way to get this kind of red. So I'm going to include some paint with the car. It's mixed right out of the can itself, so it's not a custom color, which would be really nice. God forbid you have to touch it up or do anything, but you can just apply it right out of the canister. So that's the color. All the sheet metal in the car is original to this car except for the hood. The hood's a good mark hood. It's a super sport hood. The fenders, doors, trunk, everything else is original to this car. The trim, all the grille, the bumpers, the front spoilers from a company called Spoilers by Randy. And the car's going to be featured on his website now after Las Vegas. But the grille and all the lights and everything are from OPG. Everything's brand new. All the emblems are brand new. The bumpers are from OPG. The hood's from OPG as well. So we'll just kind of walk around the car, Ian, and we'll just kind of talk about some of the things. So the wheels are an 18 by 7 in the front and a 19 by 9.5 in the rear. They're made by a company called New Gen out of Southern California. The wheel is a billet 3-piece wheel. It is a true 3-piece wheel. It's got a billet center that's powder coated in this argent gray. The outside hoop is an aluminum hoop that's been chrome dipped. And the inside one is just powder coated gray. So maintenance on the wheels is easy. You hit them with whatever car mist stuff you use, mist and shine or Windex or whatever you like. It works perfect on them. You don't need to polish them ever. So they're really nice. The front tire is a 235 18 and the rear is a 275 30 19 rear tire. They're Nitto tires. They only have about whatever the mileage on the car is. So the brakes are from a company called Core 3. They're off of a C6 Z06 Corvette. I have stock pads in them now. The pads have about 2,000 miles on them. They came off a friend's Corvette. The front rotor is a 14-inch rotor. The rear rotor is a 13-inch rotor. The car's got power brakes. I mean, the stopping power of this is just unbelievable. Core 3 makes the brackets to affix these calipers and these rotors to a stock Chevrolet, Camaro, Chevelle, Impala spindle. So this kit's from Tobin at Core 3, and they do a phenomenal job. Their kit is amazing. So the master cylinder is also from Tobin at Core 3, as well as the regulator or the proportioning valve for the rear brakes. So all the brake lines in the car are brand new. They're all from Napa Auto Parts, so they're good quality stuff. The suspension on the car is from a company called Ridetech. It's their stage 2 or level 2 strong arm system. It's got tubular control arms, top and bottom on the front, and adjustable coilovers from Fox, I believe, makes their coilovers. Same thing in the rear, tubular uppers and lowers, coilovers. The front's got their front sway bar. It's a nice multi-piece front sway bar with the I think it's like an 1.5 inch front tube, and then it's got adjustability and really nice end links on it. So you can raise and lower the car 2.5 inches just by adjusting the coilovers, and the shocks are totally adjustable in the car as well. I think they've got 17, 18 different positions. All of them right now are on level 9, so they're right down the middle. So they're pretty soft. The car rides really nice. It's taut, but it's not bone jarring or anything, and that seems to be kind of a nice compromise. So the mirror was made by a friend of mine. The head and neck are from a company called Sunspecs, and a friend of mine made this base for me, which actually bolts onto the stock car. So the glass is all original to the car. It's all factory green tint. The windshield and the back window are brand new Pilkington glass, which is the best glass you can buy. All this window trim is all original to the car. This is all factory stainless steel. The new reproduction stuff you buy is aluminum, not near as nice. I sent these out and had them repolished and all the chips taken out of them, so nothing fits like these original style ones. They're far, far superior to the aftermarket ones, and these Chevelles are susceptible to issues with these. So moving inside, the interior was done by a guy named Dave Putnam out of Orangevale, California. Got brand new seat belts, which I know you need. They're the old aircraft style seat belts. Excuse my screwdriver. Everything on the interior is leather. It is real leather. Everything is French stitched by Dave. My brother and I built the console for it. It's a fiberglass console. Those are the power window switches. Those are from Streetworks. It's got a cup holder, obviously. The pedals are from Low Car. The column is an I Did It tilt column, so it's all brand new inside, which is really nice. It drives really nicely. Budnick steering wheel. The gauges are from Classic Instruments. Everything works perfectly. The air conditioning is vintage air. It's also been charged. It blows 44 degrees out of the vent. Everything's really nice inside, and Dave did a beautiful job. It's got updated carpeting. Kick panels are leather. The door panels are leather. These interior handles are from Ring Brothers, as well as the shifter stock is from Ring Brothers. The stereo is all Rockford Fosgate. It's got 2 Rockford Fosgate amps, a Rockford Fosgate 10 in the trunk, in a custom box. And everything, all the power window switches, everything is all loomed through some bulkheads that go through the door rather than just have wires hanging out. They're all through these slip and slide looms that go into the jams. So, and then I'm going to do a shorter video. I'll show you how to get to the EFI. The EFI is in the left kick panel in the bottom. So that's a really nice setup there. And the interior is beautiful. All the power windows work wonderful. They're from New Relics, which is the best power window company you can get. Just hit the button, all the windows drop. All the glass is totally adjusted. It all seals really nicely. The front window comes up and rests right on this guide, which is the way it should. We water tested the car and it water tested perfectly. Camera. The exhaust in the car was done by my brother and myself. It's all 3-inch Mendrel bin exhaust. It's all been ceramic coated black, so it's all semi-gloss black. It's 3-inch Sanderson front headers, 3-inch down to the bottom. It's got a 3-inch X pipe from Magnaflow. Then it goes to the back. It's got Borla XR1 mufflers, and then it goes up over the axle. We use Flowmaster tailpipes, and they come out of the rear corners on both sides. The car sounds awesome. I think you're really happy with it. It's really mellow. When you rap on it, it's got a really raspy, throaty sound to it. So, again, all this trim back here is all new from OPG. We used the 502 letters in the center to show what a motor it's got in it. Trying to think what else we've got in the back. The tank, the gas tank is a brand new tank. It's a stainless tank from a company called Tanks Inc. It's got a 255 liter per hour fuel pump inside the tank. You don't hear the fuel pump ever. You don't hear it whining, you don't hear anything. It's submerged, keeps the fuel cool. This system is the MSD Atomic EFI, which is just a phenomenal product. And we run a return style system to keep the pressure adjusted and keep the fuel cool. It's a little bit easier on the pump. So the system runs up out of the tank sink, runs all the way to the front to an to the actual throttle body, out to an aeromotive regulator. We'll go pop the hood and take a look at that. The fuel pressure is set at 49 pounds, which is what MSD wants, and you don't need to adjust it. Everything's preset there. The EFI is totally mapped out. The timing's done. I mean, the car just is turnkey and go. It's a really nice system. So I don't think you're going to get any issues there at all. I think that's pretty much it for the outside. Let's go take a look at the engine front. So this is a GM Performance Parts. It started out as an HO 502, which is an all-iron 502. We took it apart and revised a lot of things with it. Those things are about 8.5 to 1 compression. This one's now 10.5 to 1 compression. We used a Ross piston. It has a forged crank, forged rods. They come like that. The heads are the GM rectangle port heads. They're a 325cc intake runner with a 219 188 exhaust valve. We put Manley stainless valves in it. It's got Crane Gold Series roller rockers. It's got all comp hardened push rods, comp lifters, and the cam is a ZZ502 cam. So it's a mild engine. It probably makes about 520 to 30 horsepower right in that zone, and probably about 575, 580 foot-pounds of torque. Underneath that bonnet, bonnet was built by a guy named John Schimmelman. This is all sheet metal. The bottom of this bonnet's got a removable base with 3/4 20 Allens on the bottom. That base comes off, and you can access it's got a K&N filter inside of it that you can clean. The center of it, on the base, it's got a dome, an extruded dome that goes right, and it's contoured right up inside into the throttle body. To remove this, you simply remove this one Allen. It's got a brace underneath it that lays its weight on the valve cover, and it's got a rubber seal on the cowl, so it's sucking air off the cold end of the cowl into the throttle body. So just remove this Allen, it pops straight up and pops straight back. That's all you need to do. To put it on, you just slip it back on that mouth, lay it right down, set your bolt down, it's done. So this piece here comes off when you undo this. You just pop this cover off. It just rotates right off. Sorry for the dust. And it just snaps right out. So the fuel system, there's the aeromotive regulator I was talking about. The heat shrouded line is the delivery line. That line is going to the throttle body. They pressurize it on the back side. After the throttle body, it goes to the regulator, and where it's at 49 pounds, and then that's a return line going underneath it. So at rest, it stays usually right there about 20-25 pounds. When the car's fired, it goes to 49 pounds, and it all pretty much runs itself. It's pretty simple. So the catch can on the left, it's got two -10 AN lines. All the lines in the car are from Aeroquip. They're all this soft braided line. Doesn't get hot ever. Doesn't chip your hand or anything, or cut you or anything. It's a really nice piece. It's highly flexible. All the fittings are Aeroquip. That catch can back there is linked to the valve covers. That gets all the oil vapor out of the engine. And the top part on the catch can is from Sunspecs, and that relieves all the pressure out of the top of the engine. So when the car's running, you can see a little tiny bit of air escaping from the top of that can, but that's what it's designed to do, is to let the pressure out of the block itself. So there's your Wilwood master cylinder that we got from Core 3, and their adjustable pressure regulator, or the proportioning valve for the rear brakes. This has all been adjusted already. Everything's fine. The car stops really, really well. The lines are all -3 braided lines, and then they separate down there to the front and rear. So the booster is from, I can't remember where we got this booster. I think it's from CPP. It's where we got that. The box is from CPP. It's a 12-to-1 high-speed ratio box. The thing steers like a Trans Am car. The factory is about 18-to-1. This one's 12-to-1 ratio. It's much faster. The steering shaft and joints and everything is all brand new up from there. So you can see the headers are coated headers from Sanderson. The wires are from Taylor. The ignition in the car is all from MSD. It runs a Pro billet distributor, no vacuum advance, mechanical advance. We run about 13 degrees initial and about 34 total for California fuel. That seems to be about the max. Everything on this thing was all in at about 2,800 RPM, so it seems to be about right. The coil and the MSD6AL box that runs the ignition is upside down under the dash, right above the radio. And that all runs really well. Everything's hidden inside. This guy here, this temp sender here is for the fuel injection. This guy here is telling the fuel injection how hot the water is inside the engine, so it can calibrate itself to that. It also turns on and off the electric fans. The EFI controls that as well. I'll do a supplemental video and we'll show you that. The front one here is just a water temp gauge. Okay. The serpentine drive is from Vintage Air. It's what they call their front runner system. It's a 134A compressor. It's a 140 amp alternator. It's their small Type 3 power steering pump, and all their pulleys are nickel plated. The lines are from Detroit Speed and Engineering. This is all their kit with all their stainless lines. The fender wells and everything, the core support is all painted with PPG paint. The hinges are from Ring Brothers. They're pretty pricey, and they have the upgraded shocks on them. They're a nice piece. What else, Ian? What am I missing? Radiator is a Griffin radiator. The cap is from Billet Specialties. The overflow tank is from Billet Specialties. All these little guys are pretty pricey, but they're really nice pieces. These hood adjusters are from Ring Brothers. And then all the hardware under the hood is stainless ARP 12 point. Everything on the engine is stainless ARP 12 point. The head bolts are stainless, they're black oxide 12 point from ARP. There's ground straps all over the car. I'm a pretty firm believer in ground straps and what they can do. So there's a ground strap going from the engine to the frame. There's a ground strap in the back of the car going from the body to the frame. And that makes the EFI and the ignition, everything happy. So the front end has been totally aligned on our Hunter system at my shop. So I've got the printouts if you really need all the printouts for the alignment, but it steers straight, stops straight, does everything it's supposed to do. The wiper system I know is critical for Hawaii. The wiper system is from a company called Rain Gear. You notice that there's no motor on the firewall. This system from Rain Gear inverts the motor to the inside of the cowl. A friend of mine, the same guy that made the mirror base plate at CMC Manufacturing, made this cover plate for me. This is solid billet and been powder coated with stainless hardware. The motor's actually upside down on the other side of this panel, and all the factory linkages and transmissions and everything for the wiper system's gone. This is all new Rain Gear, updated 2-speed stuff. It's all Teflon coated. It's super silent. It's not jittery like the factory stuff. When you shut it off, it comes back to rest automatically and stops itself. I've already calibrated it. It functions perfectly. It runs off the factory dash switch. That's a really nice system from Rain Gear. All in all, I think that's about it. We'll do a supplemental video for the EFI. I know you wanted to see that, as well as the emergency brake. I'll show you that as well. The car is a phenomenal car. We just drove it for about an hour around the neighborhood just to shake it down and make sure everything's good. It runs at right about 195 to 200 degrees. The car just seems to kind of like it there. Turn the air on, it kind of stays the same. It doesn't really move. It might go to 205. For a big horsepower, big block, or fairly mild, but for a good street engine, it seems to be about right in this little car. So I think on Hawaii you're not gonna have a problem at all with that at all. So the thermostat works. Everything works there. Everything functions correctly. All the gauges work correctly. Fuel gauge is correct, oil pressure is correct, the water temp is correct. I think all in all, you've got yourself a good car. It doesn't have very many miles on it, but I'm really happy with everything that came together. So, yeah, we'll do a supplemental video, and if you have any questions, you can always call me or email me or anything else. So, enjoy. I think you're really going to have a nice car. Okay?